Okay, hello, welcome to another video. Welcome to part 5 of the epic, never-ending, not focusing on my hand. Why would I even care it to focus on my hand? I don't know, but there you go. There's my hand, and there's my little engagement ring there. That's been on my ring finger for 12 years? Yeah, 12 and a half years. Anyway, it is time. It's time. It's finally time for me to try and adjust the camera a little bit again, and it's not even. I'm going to keep this in. It's really strange. My camera tripod used to be on one level, and now it's on a different one, and it just seems to not be. You don't care. So, this is part 5 of 7, the epic Blu-ray update of 2023. And the next 3 are just mental. I think there's almost like 75 Blu-rays across all 3 of these updates. They're around 25 Blu-rays each. So let's get into this one. It's Eureka. It's primarily Masters of Cinema, because in the 7th and final part, the big finale, there's loads of Eureka stuff. Tons of it. But I have a few stragglers here. We're going to get to those first, and most of these I've reviewed in the past 9-10 months, so it's going to be a weird update for me. But don't worry, we'll get into a good old Luke update of looks good, haven't seen it, looks good, haven't seen it, looks good, haven't watched it yet. So you're going to be covered for all different principles of Blu-ray update videos. Don't worry, you'll even get the old Blu-ray Dan. Love that coloring. So. And speaking of that, straight away, I love the coloring on this one, and this is a recent release from Eureka. Most of these are, I suppose, because what I'm basically doing is showing you everything I've reviewed recently, but also, every Masters of Cinema Blu-ray I haven't held up in a Blu-ray update video. I went back and checked to see. So, first up we have The Bullet Train, Junya Sato. This is probably my favorite single film release Blu-ray of the year so far. Phenomenal. Love the film, great suspense movie, Sonny Chiba, Ken Takakura. Love train movies, love this one, and an amazing amount of extras, great slipcover, gorgeous artwork by Tony Stella. This one I haven't watched yet, it's a new one, just came out this month. Another Junya Sato movie starring Ken Takakura. It is Golgo 13, which is based on a manga by Hitman, so looking forward to checking out that one. I really like Ken Takakura in The Bullet Train. This one I kind of missed out on. I didn't get it when it came out, and it's plugging a gap in just Eureka releases that came out late last year. This is The Cat and the Canary and Ghostbreakers. I recently picked this up off eBay. So I kind of feel like going back and reviewing this just to kind of, because from October of 2022, I've reviewed every Eureka release almost, and this is the one thing that stands out. I haven't done a deep dive on the 4K of Dr. Caligari either, but, this is one I'm interested to check out. Paulette Goddard is an actress I love from one of the Charlie Chaplin films. I think it's Modern Times. It is Modern Times, because City Lights is the one with the blind girl. It's been a long time since I've seen those movies, but I love her in that film with Chaplin. And Bob Hope is a name I've heard a lot about, and I've never really seen him in anything. This is a really, really good release. Some good old Universal horror stuff here. We have a triple pack, Karloff in Maniacal Mayhem. So this has The Invisible Ray, which is a very cool sci-fi kind of movie. Black Friday, which is a very interesting film about this guy who kind of... I don't want to go into it too much. I recommend Black Friday. The Strange Door is incredible. Charles Lawton. Love that film so much. Easily the best film on the set. I mean, Black Friday. It's it's not quite about people rushing out to get Blu-rays. I'll tell you that much. It's a very intriguing one, but I think Karloff is very, very sinister in that film, and The Invisible Ray is a really good kind of sci-fi film. I think I quite like the tone of that one, and Karloff is really good in all of them. And then another triple pack of Universal stuff. These are earlier kind of horror movies. It's creeping horror, and has Night Monster, Murders in the Zoo, Horror Island, and House of Horrors. And my favorite was Horror Island. I really loved the vibe of that film. The best one's probably House of Horrors, but Night Monster was a lot of fun too. Kind of whodunit kind of movie, and then Murders in the Zoo was a very interesting early like 30s movie with a really cool villainous performance there by, is it Lionel Atwill? Yes. Very, very good release. Again, I've reviewed most of these. Now, we get into the MOC stuff now, and this is stuff, I put it all in chronological order. So this first batch I will not have reviewed at all, shown in a video before. So, first one is a John Ford film, I believe. Yes, it is The Sun Shines Bright. This is spine number 260 in the collection. I've not watched this one yet. I started watching it late one night and I fell asleep, so I need to get back to it and then start all over again. But it is a film about the. Is it some sort of because I didn't quite get a feel of where it was going from the beginning. It says something about, no, that's not it. I'm trying to read the back here. It's yeah, it is about a judge. It's about a judge who's trying to get re-elected. I remember that because he was acting he's kind of glad-handing and stuff at the beginning. So that one I'm looking forward to because it's a John Ford film, and I like John Ford. Next is spine number 261 in the collection. This is a 2-movie pack, technically. Spread across 2 discs, we have The Indian Tomb. So this is a silent film release, which comprises the mission of the yogi and the tiger of Eshnapur, a film by Joe May. So these came out in 1921, and both parts comprise about 4 hours of movie. So a good old-fashioned 2-part early 20s epic. Definitely looking forward to checking that one out at some point. I've kind of gone cold on the silent films. I'm kind of holding a lot of them back for a rainy day, I think, or a rainy week, or a rainy month, or a rainy year, because they're really building up in my collection. Next is spine number 262. This is a nice hardbox edition of Vampire, however you want to pronounce it, the Carl Theodor Dreyer movie. I don't know if there was an issue over this, the printing of the outer slit box. If you look at the side there, the strip, it looks like the printing has been misaligned, and then the actual part here goes around to the spine, which is kind of annoying, really. And I did inquire about it, but there was no real response over it. So yeah, but Vampire, I have seen this one before. Haven't dived into this actual set and release yet, but it's it's a really nice stacked edition, absolutely loaded with special features, documentaries. I think there's even a commentary with Guillermo del Toro, yes, and even one by Tony Raines. So this is one that I'm looking forward to really diving into the extras on at some point in the future. And I think the book is even 100-page. Is it a 100-page book? Yeah, 100-page book, a proper stacked release. Yeah, really looking forward to revisiting that film. The film feels like a dream. Not quite a nightmare, but it's an unsettling dream with weird imagery. It's a very, very effective horror film, I think. Spine number 263, we have Outside the Law. It's a Todd Browning film, and stars Lon Chaney, who I had not really seen much of except for the original Phantom of the Opera. I say original. And then now I've seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, so I'm getting a bit more of a feel of Lon Chaney, and this is kind of a crime drama by the looks of it. Outside the Law, again another silent film to get to. See, I did start filming many years ago Silent Movie Marathon 4, and it was called A History of Silence, and I never finished it, and I have dreams of going back and kind of making it a weird kind of Frankenstein piece, but we'll see what happens. Spine number 264, this is a film from Taiwan, directed by Lee Sing, and it is Execution in Autumn. Don't know anything about it, and that's the way I want to keep it, and I want to just dive in one day and just check it out. Taiwanese films definitely a vast open expanse of stuff I haven't even begun to look into. I can actually talk about the next few releases, which is nice because I have watched them. Spine number 265 and 266 in the same set. We have Running Out of Time and Running Out of Time 2 by Johnny To. So these are 2 super fun movies. And the second one is kind of a remake of the first one. So we have this detective here, who's played by Lau Ching-wan, and he plays Inspector Ho. he's fantastic, and he's this great detective. The first scene of the first movie kind of shows you his skill and his bumbling boss, who's a great character, and then we see this guy, this criminal played by Andy Lau in the first movie, who is just kind of a mastermind, but he kind of focuses in on Inspector Ho, and he wants to play a game with him for a couple of weeks, and he's got 2 weeks to live. And the chemistry between these two guys, it's like a cat and mouse game, but Connie watched these with me, and she thought that there was kind of some like romantic tension between them. And I agree, and I would have loved to have seen them gone full bore with the kind of, I thought there was something there to it, and they kind of played with it towards the end there, where Andy Lau shows up dressed as a woman and says, "Give me a kiss on the cheek." They're very funny films too, but like I love the intrigue of like the crime and what's going to happen next. The sequel, Running Out of Time 2, features some dog shit CGI very briefly, but it's just like, holy moly, like these were like late 99, 2001, not the best CGI. There's an eagle that kind of makes a recurring appearance, but the sequel has another kind of flamboyant, kind of interesting character for Inspector Ho to track down, and you kind of think, oh, it's not the same as Andy Lau, but again, the chemistry there was really, really good, and this guy was more of like a magician and a master of illusion. And the second film, not as good as the first, kind of feels like a retread of the first, but it has one of the best chase sequences I've ever seen in a film. You kind of get, I think, 2 different covers. It's quite nice actually. You get a reversible sleeve, so you can kind of display the first film or the second. And so I just kept the first one there with a shot of Andy Lau and Lau Ching-wen. But yeah, the chase scene in Running Out of Time 2 is just one of the best chase scenes I've ever seen. I was just applauding by the end of it. I was loving it. And it's not an exciting chase scene where it's like cars and stuff and big stunts. No, it's not like a thrilling foot chase. It's something that you probably haven't seen before. I'd never seen it done before in that way. And I was laughing and just clapping. I thought it was brilliant. So I loved both of those films. And there's loads of extras. There's like tons of audio commentaries and stuff, hour-long documentary, all sorts of stuff. Really want to dig into those at some point in the future. The next one, I love this film too. This is spy number 267 in the collection, and it's from 1955 by King Vidor, Man Without a Star. I did a video about this. I liked it that much, but this is Kirk Douglas, who is the Man Without a Star. And at first I thought that was going to be some kind of play on like, he's not the sheriff, he doesn't have the badge, but he's going to be taking names. Nothing like that. It's this really cool scene where he's talking to someone, another character in the movie, about how, you look up into the sky and you see a star, and that's, there's a name for every star, but he's a man without a star. He's like a wandering kind of, does everything that, he's self-sufficient and stuff, and he kind of goes where he may. And anyway, but it's a very, very good film. I really enjoyed it. I thought Kirk Douglas was fantastic. It made me a real fan of him. I've seen him in films before, of course, like Spartacus and, was it Paths of Glory? He's great, but this one, there's a real charisma that shines through in here that I hadn't quite seen from him before in more stoic roles that I'd seen in the past. So not really a big fan of Westerns, but I really enjoyed this one. And he plays a guy who comes in to a new territory. He kind of jumps on a train, skips town, and ends up in a new place and gets a job as a rancher. And yeah, shit goes down from there, but it's a very, very good film. Really enjoyed it. This one is Spine number 268 in the collection, and this is Buster Keaton in The Sap Head. I haven't watched this. I have seen it before. It's not really, I don't want to say not worth watching, but it's not Buster at his best. This is his first feature film, 1920. He didn't direct this one. This was directed by Herbert Blaché, and there's flashes of Buster's brilliance in there, but it's really he'd been making short films in, like, I think it's 1917, or maybe it was 1918. But in the last couple of years of the 1910s, Buster Keaton was making these short films with Fatty Arbuckle, and he was definitely shining through in those movies. And then from 1920 to 1923, he was making his own short films, which were just incredible. And this was kind of his first starring role in a feature film in the silent era. And there's a couple of good jokes in there and stuff, but it's not quite, But what makes this release really special, and I like the slipcover, it's very nice. I think that there's a different piece of art on the inside as well, which is always nice. The extras on this are outstanding. There's so much of it, and at first I couldn't find where a lot of the extras were until I realized that they're different audio tracks. So you basically view them as commentaries, but there's so many of them. So I mean, I'm just trying to remember now. There's a new commentary with David Collette, which I haven't listened to, but he does great commentaries. There's a new video essay. There's a complete alternate version of the film with different camera angles and stuff, and I believe a featurette comparing the two different versions. There is his last film role from 1966 in The Scribe. There is an audio commentary with the director of The Scribe, recorded before his death in 2015. There is a near 2-hour interview with Buster himself conducted by Kevin Brownlow in 1964. Another audio interview with Buster Keaton from 1958, so those both play as like multiple commentaries across the film, which is only like 84 minutes itself. And there's even more than that. So they've really, Eureka, as far as if you get all the Buster Keaton releases from the MOC collection, you are set. The only thing missing is the Cameraman Spike Marriage, but apart from that, you have the full, and we got 3 Ages coming next month as well. So as far as the extras, they've done a beautiful job in kind of rounding up pretty much everything. So I'm really, really happy with that as a kind of a set of extras to dig into in the near future. Now, the rest of the stuff here I have reviewed or shown in a video before, but, for housekeeping's sake, let's move through the rest of them. We have spy number 269, which is... Oh, is that a... No, what the fuck is that? Is that a big mark on there? Where did that come from? Can that come off? No, it's a big scuff. Shit. Oh dear. Oh no. Okay. Damn. Shit. Oh no. Oh dear. This one hurts. Damn. Okay. So there was something on the spine of this slipcover that looked a bit like a scuff mark, and so I tried to just gently rub it with my shirt, and it's peeled off the slipcover. So yeah, that's going to be staring at me from the shelf every time I look at the collection. Anyway, The Most Dangerous Game. Yeah, this was quite a fun one. This is a film by Irvin Pichel and Ernest B. Schoedsack. And a really good film. It's a kind of a hunting movie, like a guy arrives on a deserted island and he gets sent out into the jungle and he's going to be hunted by this man who is a game hunter, and he is not satisfied with the animal kingdom anymore. He wants to hunt humans and stuff. I enjoyed it quite a lot, and the actors are really good. But yeah, the spine on this, I just accidentally made it a lot worse. If you can see that, you definitely can't because I got to put my hand in front first, see if we can get that into focus, and you can see the woes I've just created for myself. No, even my hand, it's like, no, we're going to keep focusing on your face. Right, let's see there. Yeah, look at that. Lovely, nice and scuffed off. Gorgeous. I mean, I have imperfections in my collection, but that one's gonna... I mean, it's not my favorite release, It's just like, it's got character, right? It's got a bit of a scuff on it. It's the most dangerous game. It's a dangerous world out there for this slipcover, and it's barely surviving, and it's got a tiny little scuff on it. Anyway, good film. I enjoyed it. This one, if I had the scuff on this slipcover, I'd be very upset. Spy number 270, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So this is the first one I did for the Blu-ray review series that I'm really enjoying doing on my channel now. And this is a phenomenal release. The slipcover itself is absolutely gorgeous, but the movie, classic 1923 silent film starring Lon Chaney as the Hunchback, is the first time I really encountered this story in full, outside of the Disney kind of version when I was a kid. And so I loved all the ins and outs of it that weren't even necessarily linked to the Hunchback character himself, Quasimodo. And great cast, great big epic scale silent movie, and phenomenal extras as well. Really, really good stuff, especially the booklet, which reproduces the original brochure, program for when the film came out in 1923. Spine number 271. This is another one where if the spine was scuffed, I'd be really annoyed. This is a stunning release. It is Son of the White Mare, and other early works by Marcel Jankovic. Don't know how to say that name. So the main event here, which is the 1981 Hungarian animated film Son of the White Mare, is an absolutely stunning visual ride. I've never seen anything like it before. No outlines, lots of like threes, like trios of imagery, 3 faces, 3 dragons, and it is about the 3 sons who have to go out to face the 3 dragons that are holding the 3 wives, but it's just incredible. And then also you have another feature-length film on there called was it Johnny Corncob? Janos Vitez is the original title, which I wasn't so sold on in the first half, but the second half is incredible. And it's the first Hungarian feature-length animated film. There's also 4 short films on there. I'm trying to think if there might just be 3. Sisyphus, The Struggle, Dreams on Wings. Yes, and then so there's 3 short films, one of which I enjoyed. The other 2 were awesome. All restored in like 4K, 2K, and just awesome. Absolutely incredible. Great extras, great films, animation represented in the collection, which is just an animation in general represented on Blu-ray, which just seems to be outside of the new releases, rarer and rarer to see. It doesn't seem like a priority for many companies, and it's a real shame. This next release goes back to the early days of the collection, Spine number 92, but this is the first and to date only, until Touch of Evil arrives in a couple of months, 4K release in the Masters of Cinema collection. It is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari in 4K. Just a monumental release. We'll try and get a little focus there on the spine. Yeah, this is just a gorgeous thing. 100-page book. I haven't got into all the extras yet, and I'm saving it for the right moment, see? And once I get to it, you're going to get a full... And also, I kind of want to wait until I get like a 4K drive so I can rip the 4K Blu-ray and do a 4K Blu-ray review, like even shoot this thing in 4K just so I can show you 4K clips. That's something I really want to do. I just don't know about, and I've been looking actually for 4K drives, and I just can't seem to find any kind of like solid concrete, like it seems very spurious online. You go on Amazon, it's like 4K Blu-ray drive, and it doesn't say 4K, but apparently it can, and it's kind of a gray area. I don't know. Next up, we have Spine number 272. This is Run Man Run. Sergio Salima, yes, and this is a film starring Tomas Milian as, what was his character's name? Cuchillo. So Cuchillo is a character that Tomas Milian played across multiple movies. This was the second of the 3, I believe. Again, Westerns not a big thing for me. Spaghetti Westerns, outside of the Dollars trilogy, I hadn't really seen any. This was really fun. I really enjoyed this. I think Tomas Milian was a great kind of central character in this. It's kind of this lovable rogue, and everyone's trying to get to this gold, and it's a typical kind of plot, but it was very fun. And this has 2 different versions of the film. At least one of them is it was from a 4K restoration, so it looks great. But you get an audio commentary for both different versions of the film, which were both very interesting. So I really enjoyed this one a lot, and it's nice to just branch out a bit with stuff that I don't ordinarily watch, and that's kind of the whole basis of me loving the collection to begin with. Spine number 273. This is a film by Hideo Gosha. It's Violent Streets, a Yakuza film. It's about this aging former Yakuza member who now runs a bar, and he learns that just when he thought he was out, he gets pulled back in, and there's this TV actress who gets kidnapped and stuff, and he gets drawn into this web of just all sorts of stuff going on. I really enjoyed this one. Didn't love it, but it was much better than some of the other Yakuza films I'd seen and not quite enjoyed before. And I really like the Tony Raines piece on here where he talks about the history of the studio and stuff and the Yakuza genre. So I enjoyed that one quite a lot. And again, look, it's just Tony Stella, man. This guy's work is just gorgeous. Next we have Spine number 277. And we're missing a bunch because the gap there, the 3 spine number gap is the Andrei Zuavsky box set, which is coming now, I think, at the end of August. So we jump ahead to spine number 277, and this is a film by Kinji Fukusaku, Samurai Reincarnation. This is about this Christian rebellion leader who comes back to life and decides to reincarnate all of these legendary swordsmen and warriors and people of like notable kind of historical importance. There you go, that's what I was looking for, importance. It's late, I'm filming this past midnight, cut me some slack. And we have this character of Jubei Yagyu, played by Sonny Chiba, who's going to go up against these deadly demon ghosts of like, you know, Masashi Miyamoto, you know, just these like legendary figures and stuff. And I really enjoyed this. Like, and some the cast is just, you know, you got Tomisaburo Wakayama as Jubei's father, Sonny Chiba himself, and Ken Ogata as Masashi Miyamoto. It's a really fun film. It's pretty brutal at times, especially that opening sequence where there's just like skewered heads on pikes everywhere. But yeah, very, very interesting kind of fantasy bloodshed and, you know, very theatrical kind of duels and stuff. Very cool. And then finally, we have spine number 278. This is Tadashi Imai's Revenge, which is a samurai film from 1964. Yeah. Near masterpiece. I think this is just, and again, Tony Stella, you know, what can I say? This guy, it really captures the movie, I think. This central image is unforgettable from the film, with Kinosuke Nakamura playing the lead character, Shinpachi Izaki. And he's this guy who gets into a minor dispute with a lower-ranking samurai who's a little bit above the ladder than he is, and they decide to settle their differences in a private, unsanctioned duel. And Shinpachi dispatches of this man and is then exiled, but brought back eventually to do an official government-sanctioned duel. But we see all the things that led to it, very much like Harakiri, written by the same screenwriter, Shinobu Hashimoto, I want to say. I don't know if it should say on the back, yeah. Yeah, I think it's Shinobu Hashimoto, who also wrote like Rashomon, Seven Samurai, best film ever made. So, Revenge, excellent film. The extras were a little bit lacking. I felt like the extras were more about Tadashi Imai's other works and like his politics, not much about the film itself. And this film doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So anyway, there you go. That's the big Eureka stack. That's still the spine on The Most Dangerous Game. That's smart. But you know, there's two in the collection I don't have slipcovers for. Probably never will. So I'll just see what I'll do. I'll bin the Most Dangerous Game slipcover. In fact, right on camera, I'll rip it up just to show you how I won't stand for a big white scuff on this beautiful slipcover. So it is exclusive artwork that isn't on the case, but I'm afraid we're going to have to say goodbye to this slipcover, and I'm going to rip it in half right now. Well, maybe I won't do that. But, you know, I almost feel like it. That just bugs me. I don't know where that scuff came from. I think it's because I don't have all these on the shelf and they've been lying around in different stacks waiting for me to do this bloody update. And that's why it's got scuffed at some point. I think I saw it at one point and thought it was part of the artwork. But, you know, yeah, I'll live. Probably. Wake up in cold sweats. Not The Most Dangerous Game slipcover. Why? Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.